I have been to United States. For a vacation this time with my family. When being there, I wanted to rent a Tesla Model Y with hardware 4 and full self-driving, also called FSD. I mean, I cannot rent a fossil fuel car. No. I wanted the experience of what it is all about, that I heard so much how it works in United States and how far behind in Europe we are when it comes to the actually full self-driving feature. I found one that was new enough to have hardware 4 and where they were advertising that the car was equipped with a full self-driving subscription. So, off we went to the US, and after a few days spent in New York, I got the car delivered to a parking garage near my hotel.
Okay, so now I'm here in New York City and I would like to see if I can drive this road to the hotel with full self-driving for the first time in my life and see how this works. Let's see if I can press the button here, like this. Okay, let's see how it works.
The visualization on the screen looks different and it's much more detailed.
So it's really amazing how this actually works. Really amazing. It is actually driving myself here. I have never been in my life so impressed about this situation. Okay, here is a road work construction. Let's see if we can take this crossing here. This is so advanced driving, so it is amazing with all those workers here and everyone. Okay, yeah, let's go.
Well, there I needed to press the accelerator a little bit to give the car a push forward, because the FSD was hesitating when this guy on the right side was waving to me to pass.
Doing it slow and careful. I like that. Now, I never drove in New York City like this. So here I am coming, sitting down and have this driver that is driving me. That's really amazing. Even if the guy is walking on the street, not on the crossing, the car takes care of it. Okay, it's green now, and let's see how it takes this one here. It's amazing. It's really, really amazing. So we are here approximately now. I need to take over for some time here. I think we are here now, right? No, we're not here. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, that was the absolutely first experience for me with FSD in the US. After packing everything into the car, it was time to head against Washington D.C. First, we needed to get out of Manhattan.
No, may I? No? Okay. Now, may I?
Okay, so I activated the autopilot again, and from now on, the car was driving by itself on full self-driving all the way through Manhattan, and I was not interfering once until I came to the other side of the Hudson River in New Jersey. See how the car is waiting patiently for the guy removing his bicycle. Someone got annoyed by the FSD's way of driving. Well, this is how it works in New York City. Now, after approximately 20 minutes of driving, I felt that I needed to interrupt the FSD autopilot, not knowing how it will handle the first road tool station that I'm now arriving to. The car was equipped with an so-called e-pass transponder, so I could just pass directly without stopping. Very convenient. Later on, it turned out that the car could very well drive by itself through a tool station like this. But it had a tendency to drive far too fast through it, breaking the speed limit. But more about speed limits later. Eventually we needed to stop for supercharging, and from there we went to our first stop for the night in Atlantic City. The key is to put the exact destination in the navigation. Then the car's full self-driving feature will take you there. It takes some time before the autopilot is showing that it's ready after putting the car in drive mode.
Nu går det bra.
Nu kommer den bilen.
Ja.
Nu kommer det objecting path.
Ja. When using the full self-driving feature in a car here in the United States, and you're driving in a city that you're not familiar with, or you're driving in a traffic situation that is very complicated, it feels like you have a friend sitting in the car helping you out that is local, from the local area, knowing where to drive, and it drives you there without any problems of trying to see signs or understand the navigation, which exit to take, where and how, and be prepared to be in what lane and so on. It is amazing, I must say, how this full self-driving feature here in the United States works, and compare it to the European version. I really hope that this feature that makes the car drive itself will be working in Europe soon.
The rest of the trip to Washington D.C. was uneventful. The car was driving constant on autopilot, FSD, behaved very well, but there was some incident happening in DC and on the way back home, but I will tell you about that later. But another thing that I noticed was that supervise, this FSD supervised function in the car that behaved so well, driving better than myself, got me complacent. And I got the feeling that if I drive myself, it's not safe enough. It was almost that I got afraid to not turn on the FSD autopilot, especially in a country like this where I'm not used to drive. I don't know how it works with speed limits in the US, but to me it seems more like a recommendation. Okay, people drive too fast and is breaking the speed limits all over the world. But when seeing this remark, when it comes to offset speed limit in the Tesla autopilot interface, I really don't know what to think. Do they really recommend to do speeding by 40%? I believe that if you use the FSD, everything should be in compliance with the law. Please comment in the section below how it works with speed limits and what speed you should actually drive. Also, I tested advanced summon on a parking and tried to get the car to come and pick me up. It worked somewhat. But the last part, the car got confused and I had to walk and rescue it. When we are on the subject of parking, a question you may ask is, if you navigate to a supercharger, will the car park nice and correct into a supercharger stall? Yes and no is the answer. Once it parked perfectly into the parking spot next to the supercharger stall. I was impressed, but unfortunately that time I didn't film. In another occasion the car just stopped before arriving to the supercharger.
What will it do? They parked here.
I had to take over and drive it manually.
Go here. Okay, so it was not driving all the way to the supercharger and reverse.
Then of course I could use the auto park function to park into a parking spot next to a stall. But another occasion the car actually parked, but with the front next to the supercharger.
Yeah, how are we supposed to charge here?
Yeah, eventually I turned around the car and connected the charger with a very thin, easy to use, lightweight cable socket, if you compare to the European kind of clumsy supercharger connector. Back on the road the car performed perfect again, but I noticed after using FSD for a long time that the car had a tendency to drive in the middle lane on a 3-lane highway, even though the right lane had no traffic, and there was signs advising you to keep to the right if you weren't going to overtake. That led to that I was overtaken several times on the right side of my car. I could override this by starting blinking without leaving the autopilot, and then the car changed lane automatic. However, most of the American drivers drove the same way using the middle lane, so the FSD must have learned from them how to drive. After a stop outside Baltimore, we arrived back in New York, luckily without any incident, driven approximately 600 miles or 945 kilometers. I am impressed how well the car performed in all kinds of traffic situations. It drives like a pro. I really feel that Tesla can now go ahead and move this system to the next level and let it drive without supervision, like they do in Austin, Texas with their robo-taxi. It is fantastic what Tesla has achieved after so many years of work on this project. And it's also frightening how fast you get used to that the car can drive itself. There were several times that I did not understand why the car stopped, and it turned out, for example, that the person was in my blind spot. It is the cameras on the car that see everything around, much better than me as a driver inside the car. So I feel confident that using FSD like this is more safe than driving manually. But I'm wondering how it will be when all cars drive by themselves and will always try to avoid collisions. You saw how it was on Manhattan, where people were walking everywhere. Will it be a norm now that you can walk everywhere because you know that a self-driving car will always stop? And in that case, how will the accessibility for cars be in the future? Will FSD honk on people that is doing something dangerous in front of the car? Well, only the future can tell. There is 3 different FSD mood driving styles: chill, standard and hurry. I tried them all but found out that standard was mostly the best variant. But I believe that FSD sometimes took a little bit too much place in the traffic and affected other drivers in a negative way. Look at this example when I'm turning right and the lane merges. Here FSD is pushing out the other driver into the left lane. This was one of 3 incidents that I had with FSD when driving from New York to Washington D.C. and back. The other incident happened in D.C. on Pennsylvania Avenue, where the car should turn right and it made a mistake to go when the light for the traffic going straight got green. This is a very strange position light where the red arrow pointing to the right was not clearly visible. A mistake that a human very well could do in this very confusing traffic situation. The FSD realized its mistake directly and stopped after a few meters. Everything went so fast that I didn't have time to react. No one got hurt, nothing happened, but a wish for a clearer traffic light orientation could be in place. The last and maybe most serious incident was that the car one time drove on the wrong side of a divider in a crossing.
Men vänta nu körde den fel. Herregud.
Luckily, there was no incoming traffic, so nothing happened, but I got a little bit upset. All incidents was reported to Tesla.